Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over the 2022 Senate map and discussing the possibility of can the Democrats not only keep their Senate majority in 2022, but expand on their majority. Now, first things first, the 2022 map, the Democrats will have 36 senators not up for election and the Republicans will have 30. So, just by simple math there, the Democrats start off with 6 more Democratic senators than the Republicans do. So I'm going to fill in the map now of how the states currently are right now. I'm also, by the way, I've set up a new map here, and I use a little darker red and a darker blue. I'm also going to be using the color white for toss-ups. I feel like the white looks very good in the map with the black background. So let me know in the comments if you think the dark background with the blue and the red look good, or if you think I should change it, if you have any ideas for how you think it would look better. But yeah, I think this background looks pretty good, and I kind of just wanted to give it a shot, see how it looks, and just kind of see what everyone in the comments has to say about it if they like it too. So there you go, map is filled in. Democrats currently have 50, Republicans have 50. Now, this is what the Senate map is right now. Going into the 2022 midterms, the states I'm going to identify in white are the states that I see being competitive or could potentially be competitive. Nevada is definitely one. Arizona is as well, as is in Rafael Warnock's seat in Georgia. I see Wisconsin and Pennsylvania being competitive. I see New Hampshire being competitive. I see North Carolina being competitive. I could see Florida becoming competitive. I don't think it is right now, but it could be. I could see Iowa also becoming competitive. I don't think it will. If Senator Branstad decides to run again, I think he'll win very, very big. So I'm leaving it in that category for now of safe Republican. However, if he retires and there's an open primary, I could definitely see Iowa getting competitive as well. Ohio, I could see being competitive. Actually, Ohio I think Republicans will win Ohio, but I'll put it in competitive for now. I think Josh Mandel, I honestly think will become the next senator if he wins the primary. I think he's going to win. I don't think it'll be by too big of a margin, but the fact that Tim Ryan's running could make it potentially closer. But Republicans 46, Democrats 46. So in terms of toss-ups, in my opinion, I think they start off relatively on even ground. I think Republicans are going to win in Ohio. I don't really see Ohio being too contentious compared, especially to the rest of the other ones. So if Democrats want to expand on their majority, what do? Well, the number one rule in politics is if you want to expand, you have to start with keeping what you have. So the first state I think the Democrats are going to look at for trying to keep is the state of New Hampshire. New Hampshire voted Joe Biden 52-45 in the presidential election over Donald Trump. So 7-point margin of victory for Joe Biden. New Hampshire is very, very interesting because if Chris Sununu, the current governor, runs, not only do I think it will be contested, I think Chris Sununu was the favorite to win in that race. Maggie Hassan is not overly popular in the state of New Hampshire. And a majority of people in New Hampshire in a recent poll actually want to see a potentially new senator become senator over Maggie Hassan. And Chris Sununu did have the biggest margin of victory in New Hampshire on election night, more than Joe Biden, more than Jeanne Shaheen, who was very, very popular in New Hampshire. Chris Sununu had the biggest margin of victory. So I think if Chris Sununu runs, I think he's favored to win this race. In New Hampshire, you could very well see going red. However, if the Democrats want to expand their majority, I don't see them doing it without winning the state of New Hampshire. And if Chris Sununu does not run, then I think Maggie Hassan starts out as the favorite. There are rumors Kelly Ayotte might consider running for her old seat against Maggie Hassan. That race for me starts as a pure toss-up. I think Maggie Hassan, maybe if I had to choose, would probably start as a tilt favorite, but I think I'd put that in the toss-up to start. So Democrats are at 47. The next thing Democrats look at is the state of Nevada. Catherine Cortez Masto is up. She's likely going to face the two candidates I've seen a lot are Adam Laxalt, the former attorney general who ran for governor in 2018. He's a potential Republican candidate. I don't remember his name, but one of the representatives from, I think it's Nevada's 1st district, he is a potential candidate as well. He might run for Senate or for governor. Maybe former Senator Dean Heller might run for this seat as well, try to get a senator spot back. Maybe. The only Republican that I would be comfortable starting off as a favorite to win in Nevada would be Brian Sandoval. I think if Brian Sandoval, the former governor, runs, I think he starts out as the clear favorite to win this race. He was a very, very popular governor. But until he announces he's running, I think the Democrats are favored in Nevada, especially favored to start anyway. Democrats are at 48, Republicans are at 47. The state of Arizona up next. Arizona, we've seen the trends for several years that Arizona was becoming less and less Republican with population growth and immigration into Arizona. The Republican Party in Arizona is in very much disarray. They have censured Cindy McCain, the wife of John McCain, who are beloved in Arizona. They censured them. They just ran Martha McSally twice. Mark Kelly has so far not had anything crazy or super negative come out against them in Arizona. The Republican Party in Arizona is very fractured right now. They don't know what direction they're going to go in. Democrats, I would say, are slightly favored to win Arizona to start off for now. Democrats are 49, Republicans are at 47. Next up, Rafael Warnock in the state of Georgia. I think this could be a very, very close race depending on who the candidate is. I heard in the video I did that David Perdue is interested in running for this race. I think Perdue versus Warnock is interesting because in the polls, it was supposed to be Warnock was the weaker of the two Democratic candidates, and Perdue was the more popular of the two Republican candidates. But Warnock won by a bigger margin than Jon Ossoff did, and David Perdue lost by a smaller margin than Kelly Loeffler did. So in a midterm election, so the turnout will probably be higher than the special election. There should be more Republicans turning out than the special election had. David Perdue might be able to win this seat and flip it back. But I think if the Democrats are expanding on their majority, them holding on to Georgia likely makes the most sense. Democrats are at 50, Republicans are at 47. The state of North Carolina could be very, very close. The Democrats winning it is very, very conceivable. However, I do think the fact that Tom Tillis, the fact he was able to hold on, says a lot. I think Republicans honestly are going to win North Carolina. I really don't see a Democrat winning here. Even if they expand their majority, I really don't see it. But it is certainly possible, but I still think the Republicans win North Carolina. Now we have two states left, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. It's no surprise that it's coming down to these two states. You have retiring Senator Pat Toomey in Pennsylvania and Republican Ron Johnson in Wisconsin. Wow, that rhymes. Who is thinking about running again, has expressed interest, and I believe either filed the paperwork or is thinking about filing the paperwork for running for re-election. The biggest target for the Democrats here is Pennsylvania. Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman has already announced he is running for this seat. In my opinion, that is the best Democratic candidate to run for this seat. When you want a Senate race, you either want the candidate who has the most name recognition, who has the most money, or has both. Fetterman, I'm not sure how much money he has, but he absolutely has the name recognition. He is the Democrat top choice for that race. I think the Democrats have the best candidate they possibly could in that race. Now the ball's in the Republicans' court. Who are the Republicans going to nominate? Is it a representative who's maybe more well-known in the state, maybe like Representative Scott Perry? He comes to mind for me as one of the first people I think of in Pennsylvania. Is it Representative Lou Barletta has stated he wants to run for governor? That's the other name I know. So I don't know what direction they go in, but the Democrats have the better, more well-known candidate right now. So I'd give the Democrats a slightly better shot to win Pennsylvania. Not even in a best-case scenario, but just to start outright, I think the Democrats have a slightly better shot at winning. And now the state of Wisconsin. I think if Ron Johnson retires, the Democrats have an even easier shot at flipping the seat and picking it up. I think the Democrats honestly could still win in Wisconsin, even with Ron Johnson on the ticket, if they get a good candidate. I don't know much about him, but the assistant executive for the Milwaukee Bucks just announced he's running for the seat. And you know what? That could be a very, very potential good candidate that is well known in Wisconsin. Maybe he's able to win. So I could see Ron Johnson, who I think right now is favored in my mind to win. I could absolutely see Wisconsin going blue. And the Democrats flipping back the Rust Belt states of Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and expanding their Senate majority to 52-48. I could totally see this happening. I could also totally see the Republicans, Ron Johnson, holding on in Wisconsin again and winning, but the Democrats still at 51-49. So the Democrats still gain one seat and expand their Senate majority. Still very narrow, but they do expand it. Now, if Democrats hold Wisconsin or pull it off, and then win North Carolina maybe, which I don't see happening right now, but it's possible. Democrats are at 53-47. And now, if the Democrats could also pick off retiring incumbents in maybe Ohio, which I don't think will happen, but it's likely, Democrat in Iowa, if Branstad retires, I think Rubio holds on in Florida. I think Florida's kind of the stomping grounds for the Republicans, that if the Democrats win in Florida and Rubio loses and DeSantis loses too, then I think the Republicans honestly need to really take a hard look about what they're going to do in the future, because they can't lose Florida. Florida is like literally the floor for them in this election. But Democrats, it's, I think, unlikely they get to 55, but could the Democrats get to 53? I think so. All the Democrats have to do to get to 53 is flip Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. That's possible. 2 out of the 3 voted for Joe Biden, and North Carolina voted for President Trump, but very, very close. It's possible. And to get to this position, the Democrats have to hold New Hampshire, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia. All of them voted for Joe Biden. So it's absolutely possible, and something interesting and something to keep an eye on going into 2022. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel so you always get updated whenever I post a new one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.